Welcome to Rick's Corner. I have a very good guest today by the name of Grundy, who I've been trying to get for months, but he's so busy that he didn't have time for me. But he's here now. And I'm going to run some photos of him because I saw these bodybuilding shots that blew me away. I mean, they were phenomenal. And he's from Sydney, Australia. He's won several bodybuilding contests. You want to name those?
Mr. Australia, both for the IFBB and NABBA, and I took second at the World Championships on 2 occasions.
And you're still training for bodybuilding, or you're training for what now?
I'm doing the acting thing, mate, the Hollywood thing. That's my main career right now, and I hope I still look like I'm training a little.
Oh, you look great.
Thank you. Yes, it's a lifestyle for me. You know, for everyone out there, I started training to look a certain way. I wanted to look like a superhero, and I guess that's why I'm here in Hollywood, mate, chasing that dream as a little kid.
Well, sure, why not? I bet, but your bodybuilding shots are phenomenal. You're as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean that seriously good, like top-ranked pros.
Thank you. But
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, mate, it is. That's why anything's a lot of work, like the wrestling that you do. Yeah. People don't realize what goes into it. We're talking about this, and it was an honor just to talk to you about the wrestling of, you know, you said it best, where wrestling, it's not a contact sport, it's a collision sport.
It is a collision.
And for people to know how tough what these guys do is, I've done the bodybuilding, I've been a professional rugby player, professional fighter, a lot of different things. And I tried out for the wrestling, what Rick and that did, and I knew physically that's not something I could have done, the way my body structure is, and that's why it amazes me. You're physically the same size as me, and to do that, and I think what I read in an interview, you've had like 6,000 fights?
Yeah, but the thing is that when I started, it wasn't the aerial stuff like it is today. I mean, we worked hard matches and slams and shoulder blocks and punches and all that, but we didn't fly off the top rope and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, once in a while maybe, but today everybody's like a gymnast and running around. I couldn't do that stuff.
But in the day, with your athletic ability, had you have known it was there, you could have learned it.
Oh yeah. I just think that I've got a show coming up. I'm working on Maria Menounos' new show. Actually, it's a network called AfterBuzz TV, and I'm doing a recap of SmackDown. And so I have definite opinions. I went on Monday Night Raw, and I was saying that wrestling today isn't what it used to be. It's all mic skills or running, doing spots, and there's none of the old school selling the good versus the good versus the bad, heel versus babyface. And that you can go into the ring and you can take one hold and work that hold for 10 minutes, and if you get enough heat in the crowd and the babyface makes it come back, that's a good match. You don't have to do all those things.
It's showmanship a lot now.
Yeah, even with bodybuilding and posing, when you were competing, you hit a couple of good shots. You don't have to hit 40 shots. You give them 2 or 3 good ones and milk it and make them beg you for it. That's what they like.
Yeah, that goes for anything in moderation. If you're looking to pick up a girl, if you're looking to be a success in anything, show your best stuff, but don't show too much of it. Get out there, hit your best poses, and hold them. Don't be in a rush to get to a pose that's not. So I think what we're getting to, it's presentation now. You can be a stud, you can be the best bodybuilder, but how many times have you been to a show of fitness, a wrestling match? Even in professional fighting, the person who's got a reputation as being a showman, they will win. Why? Because people want to see them, the fans want to see them, and if the fans want to see them, the promoters make money.
That's the
so showmanship is something, and that's what you teach here at your school.
Exactly, it's putting asses in the seats. It's the same thing with acting auditions. When I went on this thing the other day, they wanted you to be. I went on one for Sonic Burgers, and as a biker. I'm so tired of playing bikers. They want you to intimidate a guy, but they don't want you to scream. Now, I never believed in screaming to make a point when you yell at somebody, blah, 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 because you can do it with a facial, just like Clint Eastwood.
Yep.
It's all, or Charles Bronson, it's all in the face and how you approach it in the eyes, and they had said don't scream. Well, I went on an audition once where the lady gave me a line to the casting director. She said, I want you to scream this out. I said, I'm not going to do it. She says, why? I said, I don't believe in screaming to intimidate. I think just a look and just developing the line is good enough. No, I want you to scream. I said, then you don't know anything about casting. And I left. Yeah. I'm not going to do it because I said, you're asking me to do something that doesn't play. It's not going to work, and then I'm not going to get the role.
Yep.
So I held my ground on that.
It's true. It's not like I just recently didn't go for an audition because the money wasn't right, and I was in a good position to be there, but knowing your worth and knowing what you will and you won't do, I think that's an important element for anybody.
Well, my worth now, I just want a senior meal, a senior budget, and they give you a discount. That's just all I want.
Well, unbelievable. You and I'm taking you, because I just found out you are a senior.
I am a senior.
I'm taking you to Ross on Tuesday because it's 10% off.
Oh, that's good.
So you're my Ross shopping buddy for Tuesday.
All right, so listen, let's talk about something. When you got into bodybuilding, what age was that?
Mate, I started lifting weights at 9 years of age.
Okay.
My father left when I was very young, when I was like 3. I had a very challenging childhood. I lived on the street, and I couldn't read or write till I was 13. I suffered from severe acne. I had a real identity crisis. I had no value in myself because I thought my parents abandoned me. And thankfully my father's in my life now and we're very close. But, you know, I had abandonment issues, and I had acne, then I couldn't read or write. So I felt like not the best thing in the world. And I once seen a guy with muscles and on the beach, and the way people looked at that man, I wanted to be looked at.
Sure.
So I never wanted to be a bodybuilding champion. I wanted to look good, and that's why I continue to train, Rick, because it's a lifestyle for me. But bodybuilding gave me an identity, and I always say my insecurities have made me who I am today, because I wanted to be someone who could fight and take care of themselves. I wanted to be in Hollywood. So in a way, what I had to deal with those challenges has been a blessing, because it's given me the opportunity to be who I want to be.
So you took a negative and you made it into a positive.
I did, totally. And
totally.
My life is, you know, I've had many challenges. I still have challenges. You have challenges. But I look at the positive in life, and, you know, I have my ups and downs, but the more that I'm positive and the more I believe in the law of attraction, the more good things happen. Like, you know, hey, I'm on a show with Rick Drassen. Seriously, guys, you know, this is like I'm a kid in a candy store. I'm sitting here acting all cool, but I'm excited. This is a big deal for me to be here, and well, it's just being positive.
The thing is, with negativity, I don't like it around me, and I've had plenty of reasons to be negative in my life, and I'm not. I can have something negative happen one day, and I look at it, and I come home, and I turn it the energy, and I'll go and accomplish something because of it, and just move forward, and with a smile on my face, and it's not phony either. It's just do it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with training. I have a lot of injuries, and I have a lot of pain. I get up every morning, I feel like I've been hit by the city bus, and I go to the gym, and I go through it, and I'm using machines now more than free weights, but I do it, and I feel better once I leave.
Yep.
I have to take some ibuprofen before I go, and it's just joints from wrestling and training. It's arthritis or whatever. Now it's going to rain, so I feel that in the air. But it's all positive, because if I didn't do any of that, it'd just be a negative.
It's true, yeah. It's how you look at everything. You get an opportunity to do something. And I keep thinking to myself, I'm known to be a positive, happy person, but I have bad days. I probably had one, actually the first one in a while, like 2 days ago. But the difference was, in the past, I made myself do what I still had to do. And at the end of that day, I felt so good about myself. I said, hey, look, you did your auditions, you wrote the articles, you didn't let that stop you. So I think it's when you curl up and you hop into bed and you let it beat you. When I've been there, don't worry, that's when it starts to become a problem.
Yeah, I can't stay in bed and get depressed. I can't. I see people do it all the time. They'll stay home all day and just sit on the couch. No, thank you. Not for me. You went from bodybuilding into fighting? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I was, well, I lived on the street. I'm well known as an underground fighter, doing professional street fighting. Work with Rick Bassman, a friend of yours you've known well, who was getting me organising fights over in Japan.
Okay.
And that career didn't pan out so well just because fighting fell through. And I came here to be an actor.
Right.
And I work with the US military on special tactics, helping to train with them on guerrilla tactics and learning their activities of warfare, so I can utilize that for the movies. So my life's gone in different stages. For the fighting, which was, I think more it was something to make me feel like I was a man, to think that I was tough, because that's what my dad was, a boxer, and it's something probably I had to get it out of my system, and I've done that. You know, I've had enough fights and I've whooped up on enough people to know that I'm tough. And I also had a bad side to me for like 2008 to 2011. I was doing the acting and doing well, but I was also a bad man. I was arrested many a time. I was an enforcer, collector. My life changed for me, Rick, when I was arrested. Probably like, people are going to be surprised about this, and the first time I've talked about it, I was arrested by the Ontario Police Department by SWAT. 12 of them raided me for suspicions of mafia activity.
Jeez.
And long story short, I was looking at over $1 million bail and 15 years to life. It was proven the accusations were wrong. And I'm the kind of person, if you put me in a jail cell with another man or other men, I'm okay, because I'm a big man, I'm an athlete, and I can fight. I feel at home there.
Yeah.
So that was a scary thing for me, being in jail. But then I realized that, I'm like, you know what, if it happens, you can deal with it. Then I said, you selfish bastard, you've got a 9-year-old daughter.
Yep.
And I prided myself on protecting my daughter and being a good father, and thinking I was a bad man and all that. But then I realized that I was an idiot stuck in a jail cell that couldn't be anyone. And the other thing, Rick being a bit of a celebrity, myself growing into what you are, for men like us, it's the worst thing, because you're no one, you're a number. Yeah. And it was just a life-changing moment. And big thank you to Detective Gusky and everyone out there at the Ontario Police Department for looking into my story to making sure it's correct. But that was a definite life changer, mate.
Well, it's one thing to be a tough guy and be bad, but it's best to be humble.
It is, it is. Loud people, scared man talks in the fighting game, they say, like,
Yeah.
and I'll be in an altercation with someone talking, I'll say, bro, we don't need to talk about it anymore. It's clear we're fighting. Can we just do the fight?
Exactly.
People that talk aren't scary. And I did really well, and I'm not going to go saying my record in underground fighting or whatever, but I did very well. And people would say, why did you win so many fights? Because I fought men that weren't tough. A tough man knows another team. Like when you and I met, we looked at each other in the end, we shook each other firmly, but there was no pissing competition.
No, not at all.
If a man doesn't do that with you, you know he's a man because he doesn't need to prove it. It's the guys that are like, so just the people that are very loud and boisterous. That's why I gravitate to probably older people because they're more mature.
Yeah.
They've been there, they've done that. You know you're a bad dude. Why do you do that? Because you've had 6,000 fights to prove it.
There's nothing to prove.
Exactly, and you only need to prove things to yourself, and that's another lesson.
I would much rather sit with people like you and talk and learn what you have to say and enjoy people and great conversation. Maybe have a good prime rib dinner, you know, and learn about life.
Yep.
Fighting's not going to do it anymore.
No, no.
I mean, if we're going to do it for the sport of fighting because it's UFC or something like that, that's wonderful. I would love to be able to do that, but not at my age.
Yep.
I'd fall apart like a cheap.
I'm sure if they had an over 70 division, you'd be traded for it.
I would.
Grundy, I need you to help me.
I definitely would call upon you to help me. So you've done some movie work.
Yep.
Let's talk about it.
Probably the thing that put me on the map, Rick, was The Deadliest Warrior, Spike TV. I was in the initial season. I was in 5 episodes. Big shout out to Sean Pincinino, who, because of my past, I had to go through 4 strenuous auditions because they were very concerned that I was too violent for the movie. Thankfully, the creator of the show was Australian, knew me from rugby, and Sean Pincinino, the director, the stunt coordinator, took me under his wing, got me on there. Thank you. And that was an amazing experience. For 2 weeks, I learnt sword fighting. I learnt to work with guns. It was a dream. It was a dream. And then Sean put me in the movie The Lackey, and I got a starring role in that. That's just about to be released. I've been in CSI New York, Relentless. I had a role in Shutter Island. Probably with this doesn't sound like bragging, does it?
No, I'm very interested because I think with your look and your talent, you should be working all the time.
I think you're right.
Absolutely.
Rick's right. I should be working more.
No, I mean, there's no question.
Thanks,
I've been on enough auditions and enough films and seen enough action that you have that look. You should be working all the time.
Cool.
And
thanks.
you probably will.
Yeah, it's things are going well. I'm booking more work. That's great. The coolest thing I did is I just shot a film with John Lovitz.
Oh, how nice.
The legend you're competing, and Kevin Devinican from